Everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a book haul video. I went to my library sale with my dad because it was my birthday and that was my gift to buy a bunch of books. And the great news is that since they were at the library sale, they were 3 for $1. So I have 24 books, which means I had to pay $8 for all of these. Technically, I paid 0 because that was my gift. So yeah, 24 books for free-ish. So whenever I go to that library sale, I tend to be a lot less picky about my books because they're like 33 cents. So a lot of them is like, oh, I've heard of it, or I've heard of that author, or I wanted to read it. Some of them I'm like, oh my god, I really wanted to read it. I usually am not a fan of like mass market paperback, but whenever they're this cheap, I don't mind them, especially because some of them are series that I have in that format too, or just during the summer I love to go to the beach to read, so I don't really want to bring these huge book, the hardback ones. So I find these very practical for that. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So some of them I will know absolutely nothing. You were warned. So this one is one of those that it's a mass market paperback, but it's bright yellow, which is always good. And I've been meaning to read this book. So whenever I saw it in a mass paperback, I was like, you know what? I'm grabbing you. I'm going to be reading you at the beach this summer. So it is The Shining by Stephen King. There's going to be a lot of Stephen King's book because I've been meaning to read more of his book. I've read a couple. Some of them I liked, some of them me. So I wanted to see how I feel about the other one. So this one is, did I say it? The Shining. And I've never seen this cover. It's like bright yellow. And I know it's like horror type of book. And I've heard amazing things about it, but I don't know much more than this will probably freak me out, which I love horror books, so I got this one. And actually I have it somewhere. Wait, I need to find it. Aha! I have this one too now. This is Dr. Sleep, which now I'm like feeling like, am I wrong? But I believe, yeah, this is the second one. Whew, I was like, what if I'm wrong? And this one I found in a hardcover, which is great, especially with this price. I know they're not going to match with, I know it bothers a lot of you apparently. Every time I do this, people are freaking out, which completely understand. I would prefer having them matching, but when they're this price, I'm like really not difficult. I prefer reading it for that price, and if I like the book that much, then I'll, whenever I find it for cheap again, will get it in the edition that matches. But otherwise, plus, let's be real, this is not coming to the beach with me. This is way too heavy and it's like perfect condition. So I got the second one because if I like the first one, I will want to continue. Let's just get rid of all the mass paperback first. Not that long ago, I got the first 3 books of the Jim Butcher Dresden Files series. So I have the first 3 right here. So I got the 4th one and I had them in the same edition, so I really don't mind. So I've heard this is good. If I'm not wrong, you're following the main character who is like a policeman wizard, something like that. I'm interested. So now I have the 4th one too. I'll probably go through them this summer. The next one is something, I say all the time that I love sci-fi and I get this recommendation so much. This is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, and this is always raved about, and I believe this one is just the first book. Some edition have a couple ones, but oh no, someone dog-eared it. No, you monster. So yeah, I know a lot of people love this. I know some people really don't like the humor. We'll see on which side I sit, but yeah, this has been recommended so much. A lot of people love it, so it's actually fairly short too, so I'm sure, again, this summer on the beach, I'll read this. Then I have this book. I'm gonna butcher his name. I don't know if you say Guy or Guy. I'm just gonna not say anything. This is The Lions of Al-Rassan, which I have the book Tigana. Also, both of these have been recommended so much. Apparently the writing is amazing, and again, when you know the author, you just grab the book. But again, we'll see how I feel about this one. And this one I had heard absolutely nothing. It was just in the sci-fi section, which is pretty much all I need for, yeah. So basically, humans start traveling into space, and then there's aliens, which I'm into. I swear some of these I know absolutely nothing about, but this one I do. This is a YA book that is super, super popular. This is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. And in the past I had seen, is it a third book there? And I was like, I don't like to just grab the third book if I don't have the other books, or if I have like, I wasn't sure if I was just going to read them. There's no point of just hoarding all the books, or maybe there is. But when I saw the first one is there, I might as well grab it. I feel like, again, this is a book that has been like getting really raved review, but then other people were like, eh, so I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up, but it was there. So basically YA fantasy, which again, something I'm really into. I will have to get to it. Have you read it? What do you think of it? Because again, I feel like people either really love it or just very like disappointed with it. It's something that is really raved about on BookTube. YA sometimes is a little like hit and miss on BookTube. Thorns by Joe Hill, which is the son, if I'm not wrong, of Stephen King. Actually, let me just go through all the Stephen Kings right after, because I grabbed a bunch and were like, that section was full. So I have been meaning to read some of his books. I have ordered actually online a couple, so probably next haul you will see this, but this one was there, you know. I've just heard that he's an amazing author and he's just as good as his dad or more. I'll have to compare, but I've heard so many rave reviews, so wanted to read some of his books. Then, like I said, let me grab all the Stephen King, because I swear half the haul is Stephen King. So I don't know much about him. Like I said, I've only read like 2 books from him. One of them I loved, one of them not so much. The Gunslinger, which I know everyone loved, but not me. So I just grabbed all the books that like I remembered someone recommending. So the first one is Cujo. Is that how you pronounce this one? This one, again, has been recommended a lot. I believe this one, again, horror. Then this one was Calling My Name, Insomnia. And look at that picture. Desperation, which the cover was just Calling My Name with that like little girl, doll, whatever. Grabbed it. Tommyknockers, which I believe that one was recommended too. Revival, Under the Dome, which this one is so huge, it's just ridiculous. It feels like a dictionary. There's over 1,000 pages. I'm not sure when I'll get to it, but I'll get to it. I'm starting to think that next year I should do like read as many big books as possible type thing, like reduce my goal, because this year is like 100 books. Next year maybe I'll put it like to 50, and then I'll try to read at least like 10 huge books. Probably will do this because there's so many books on my shelf that I'm like, I want to read you, but you're so big that I'm just super scared to read you. It's gonna take me like 3 months to read it. Exaggeration, but still. So yeah. So those are all the Stephen Kings that I grabbed. Like, that's a lot, but like that section was like really full, and it's never full. So I just decided, you know what? This is the time. I'm grabbing all of them. You know how I said I don't like to buy the 3rd book of a series? Well, I did it with this one by accident. I didn't realize, usually I try to check on Goodreads on my phone if it's like the 5th book in a series, because that happens to me all the time. And yeah, it happened to me with this one. This is the 3rd book in a series. Oops. Pandemic, is that how you say that in English? By Scott Sigler. And yeah, like I said, it's the 3rd book in a series. The first one is called Infected. I've been really in that mood to read like sci-fi, like post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic type of books, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Probably gonna keep it and then just try and find the other ones. So yeah. I mean, I've just read I Am Legend, so I'm like really in that mood, so when I saw that name, I'm like, yes, mine. Yeah. I decided to grab this book. This is First Lord's Fury by Jim Butcher. I have the first one and I believe the 4th one in that series. And I just find them and I'm like, you know what? Why not, instead of like buying them? The first one I have is in the, I know I have it somewhere. I have the first one in mass market paperback, then I found the 4th one in hardback, and then I found the 6th one in a hardback. And I've been meaning to read the series, so maybe I'll just accumulate all of them and then I'll just binge read them. But what I liked about that series was that basically it was kind of a bet, and the author was told to try and make the book good by mixing Pokemons and Romans. And apparently it turns out pretty good, so I grabbed this one. I've also been meaning to read all Robin Hobb books, and I got recently the Assassin Apprentice, and I am totally gonna be reading the series soon. It's the case with every book, right? I just need more time, way more time. So I saw 2 of her other books, and sorry if I'm blinding you, all of these were like library books, so they have that like little cover. I will have to remove it. But there was 2 of the books which are not the first one in the series, but considering I'm planning on reading all of her books, I decided, what the heck, which once again, probably I'll end up reading like different editions, but we're okay. Let's not freak out. Worst case scenario, I'll put them in my rainbow shelves and we won't be able to tell. So the first one is the third book in a series, the series being Rain Wilds Chronicles. The book is City of Dragons, and I'm not sure when it is after the other ones, but it's okay. I like that the fact that you're following mostly like one character throughout his whole life, if I'm not wrong, which very intriguing to have like multiple series like that. And this one is the second book in the Soldier's Son trilogy, and this one being Forest Mage. So yeah. So this one I believe is like a companion series to another series that I wanted to read, but they were there, the first three, so I grabbed them. Related to the Malaysian series, how do you pronounce this? Malaysian series? I can't pronounce that. Anyway, so the first book being Knight of Knives. Then there is this one, Return of the Crimson Guard, and then there is Stone Wilder. Then last but not least, I have a few random sci-fi books. Some of them I've heard of, but I don't necessarily a lot about. It's been the case for the whole haul, but that's what happens when I go to the library sale. I just get whatever is there that I'm intrigued about instead of just buying the books I've been planning. Sometimes it's just fun to try something new and different. This one is 2312 by Kim Stanley Robinson. And this one, I believe you're following humans are at that point where we have like multiple, like we don't live just on Earth, multiple planet, and then they just say that there's like a sequence of events that just force humanity, blah blah blah. So basically, stuff happens. This one I have heard absolutely nothing about. I just saw it. It was sci-fi, and I believe there's artificial intelligence and everything in it, so very intrigued about these things. This one is called Acelerando, and it's by Charles Stross. Never heard anything about it, but again, about artificial intelligence, which I'm into. Then the next book has no cover, but I remember checking on Goodreads and the little synopsis seemed interesting. Don't remember it, I just know that it's sci-fi. This one is called Roll Back by Robert Sawyer. Again, sci-fi. I swear, this is like the worst haul ever. It's like the most random one where it's just like a lot of sci-fi, a lot of Stephen King's, and some fantasy. That's how it is with the library sale. So yeah, I had told you this is the most random book haul ever. I hope you still enjoyed it. If you know anything about these books or if you have anything else that you think I would enjoy, let me know. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and to subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.